Oh my god, it's been such a long time since I've done one of these. How's everybody doing? Glad to see everyone. Hopefully you guys are doing great. I'm just going to level with everybody. Well, everything just kind of ended up being goofy on the back end of YouTube. It's kind of why the long delay. I thought it had the waiting room open for a little while, but no, have to go back and forth. You need to verify who you are. It's like, it's me. I know it's been a while, but for Christ almighty, just let me into my own fucking live streaming thing. But yeah, man, this is something that well, obviously I've been wanting to stream for quite a while, and well, like I said, I kind of want to level with you guys. This entire summer has been absolute ass cancer between fighting with the power staying on, which today in my neck of the woods didn't end up getting power. It went out at 8 o'clock this morning and it didn't come back until 3, so that threw everything completely out of fucking whack. The internet being completely fucked over since about June, and yeah, without getting into too much detail, my health has been totally fucked since about May, since really started doing all this stuff, and then just dropping off when it comes to the live streaming, but probably go for probably about an hour or so right here tonight. Just whenever I was thinking about that stupid ass debate that was earlier this week, it's like, if that's the best that the GOP has to offer, and obviously things are going to have to continue after Trump is in office, and well, I think we all kind of know that either, like, if Joe Biden's going to be there, the press from the mainstream media is going to be something to overcome, but it really looks like, at least in the polls, that nobody's buying this Joe Biden gimmick. But when it comes to the replacements, there's a few that could be lurking right now, and especially in the form of Gavin Newsom. I'm going to be certainly concerned about him, so we should definitely be paying attention to him, but you know what? Hey, maybe we'll get back to that once we start to go into the debate. I wasn't anticipating reacting to the entire debate, mostly because especially the last little block that they had, is totally worthless. Oh, if we're playing a game of Survivor, who would you vote off the panel? And it's like, oh my god, you guys, you're being so goddamn pathetic when it comes to any of this stuff. The way that Republicans just try to capitulate and try to, play both sides of this equation, that's why they continue to lose time and time and time again. Not even to mention, just circling back to the election in and of itself, with Robert F. Kennedy deciding to announce as an independent, and everybody already drawing the natural conclusions that this is going to be Ross Perot 2.0. It's going to make for if 2024 wasn't interesting enough already, it's already just heading into hyperdrive. So while we get started, might as well pull up the first article that we have right here. And well, Dianne Feinstein, a banana, passed away earlier this month. And well, good riddance. That bitch was terrible. Okay, I think it's kind of past the moratorium where you shouldn't say anything ill about the dead, but this bitch was a power-hungry cunt all the way until the fucking end. Like, there's nothing laudable. There is nothing that you should, really, no, it's not the time for decorum, okay? No, it's like, no. She was terrible. Okay, this bitch was the fucking mayor of San Francisco when the Zodiac killer was running around. This is how long she has fucking held on to power. She signed away, check this out, she signed away power of attorney months ago and still held her position in the Senate. All the people saying that, you should give her credit, okay? It was her family that was keeping her in office. She should have passed away peacefully, surrounded by her parents, and all of those other tradcon fucking fantasies where everybody lives in a Norman Rockwell painting. Fuck off. She wanted to be there, okay? It's not like, she was going to be the deciding vote. I think, what is it? The Democrats have 52-48 advantage, a decided advantage in the Senate. She's superfluous to everything, okay? Gavin Newsom's going to go ahead and appoint one of his black women that he said he was going to all these time ago, still continue to vote down party lines, okay? So she was absolutely not necessary to be there. She wasn't being held up as some sort of bastion of modern day democratic just upholding, yes, the Democratic platform. No, she was as power hungry as it comes. Now, if we're going to be knocking off 80 and 90-year-olds, let's just go ahead and, fucking make sure that these shits come in threes, because I can think of a couple of other people, but I don't want to wish ill on anybody. All we can do is just rejoice. I haven't been this happy since the death of a senator, since John McCain's most patriotic brain tumor did us all a fucking favor and kept us out of the Middle East longer than we needed to. Anyways, the death of Senator Dianne Feinstein means California Governor Gavin Newsom will be forced to appoint an interim replacement ahead of the 2024 elections, when voters will get a say. These are California voters voting again to reaffirm a guy who almost got recalled until the recall election happened and he got 75% of the fucking vote, okay? Like, there is not going to be any sort of pushback for, whoever Gavin Newsom appoints to fill the position, because, what was it? Kamala Harris. Her replacement, Juan Cash, some fucking Hispanic dude ended up filling that position. And guess what? Yeah, overwhelming success his re-election bid was. I think he had to run again in 2022, I think during the midterms right there. But yeah, it really doesn't matter, man. Like, there's not going to be any pushback when it comes to this. So who's going to end up taking the seat that she's occupied since I was 2 years old. I was still shitting my diapers, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Definitely wasn't articulate enough to form a sentence in my rebuke of her absolute, just her power-hungry state. Like, she is the face of term limits when, okay? Newsom, who appointed the state's other senator, Alex Padilla. There it is. Where did I think Raul? I don't fucking know. To replace Kamala Harris in 2021 when she became vice president, has publicly fretted about the decision. Publicly fretted? Are you retarded? In 2021, Newsom promised to appoint a black woman to Feinstein's seat, leaving many to think the spot would go to Barbara Lee, a longtime California progressive who is already running for the seat in 2024 when Feinstein planned to retire. Who's Barbara Lee? Is she black? Okay, earlier this month, yes, Newsom all but ruled out Lee, saying that he did not want to interfere in the current primary. Yeah, whatever, bro. So these are the people that he's apparently looking at, which, Shirley Weber, California Secretary of State. She looks like Jason Whitlock in a wig and a muumuu. Like, what the fuck is going on there? Holy. A 75-year-old. Replace a 90-year-old with a 75-year-old. Are you having a fucking laugh? This is the current state of California politics. That could become the United States politics if the Democrats have their way. Holy. Already owns the current job to Newsom, who appointed her to replace Padilla in 2020. Okay, yeah, so this is the way that the ladder works. She won the full-term job in 2022. It's unclear whether she would want to give up the safe seat to the placeholder in the Senate position. Safe seat. Whoever gets the position is ultimately going to end up keeping it going forward. Like, the primaries doesn't even fucking matter, because if somebody's going to get earmarked by Gavin Newsom, it's a blue no matter who. If you're worried about your primaries and all that shit, all you need to do is just get the nod from Gavin Newsom and you're good to go. This is so stupid. She's elected statewide, poses no threat to Newsom, is easily identifiable as a black woman, has won statewide, and long after, yes, there are no blemishes, it works, yes, says Shenkoff, whoever they have in there. And then you got Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, who has done such a great job, but again, does it really matter how good of a job it does? No, she checks the right amount of boxes, because, well, she has one. Or, yeah, state controller. A state controller. Whoever's in control of California. That'd be a good fucking decision. But at least she's not. Okay, yeah, Karen Bass, 69 years old, for Christ's sakes. Holy. Malia Cohen. Oh, I guess she checks another one of the boxes. All right. Second highest ranking black woman in the office holder of California after Weber. Chummy with Newsom for 2 decades, previously served as San Francisco County Supervisor. Cohen, 45. Again, I'd like to get some younger blood that are in there. And again, at 45, she's half as old as the outgoing Feinstein. Or Oprah. I would just want that for fucking laughs at this point in time because, well, you know, Oprah, when it comes to hosting your own network, hosting a talk show, not exactly pulling the same type of numbers you used to. So who knows, man? I don't know who this Barbara Lee chick. Oh, right. Yeah. And there's another one. Yeah. San Francisco Mayor London Breed. Yeah, as if shit couldn't get any more fucking atrocious. But who knows, man? It's all going to be a fucking it's just a clusterfuck, okay? Because they wanted to keep that seat. There was also some scuttle that they wanted to keep the seat warm for Adam Schiff, who's going to come up. But no, Barbara Lee threw a wrench into those plans. And, well, yes, of course, because you can't get rid of a woman from the spot. And if you do, it has to be a special exception, like a certain type of minority, like that Alex Padillo fellow. Haven't heard a goddamn thing that he's done, but he's from California and he's a Democrat, so he's going to be a safe election point. So I think now's a good enough time to just go ahead and talk about this Jamaal Bowman shit, okay? Did you guys hear about this stuff earlier today? Okay, it was absolutely wild what ended up going on. There was a House of Representatives meeting where, you know, they had to decide, oh my God, are we going to shut down? Is Congress going to have to shut down? Long story short, they ended up passing a 45-day spending bill, but not before a bit of a interruption. An interruption in the form of a fire alarm. Something that, check this out, didn't even happen during January 6th. Nobody pulled the fire alarm, as Jack Posobiec points out right here. Not one person on January 6th pulled a fire alarm to stop proceedings. Think about the implications of that. Yeah, no, exactly. So Jamaal Bowman may or may not have committed a felony. I may or may not have committed a felony that has a maximum sentence of 17 years. He impeded a government proceeding, something that many people on January 6th ended up getting charged with and ended up getting trumped up sentences for. Do you think Jamaal Bowman is going to be held to the exact same standard? Yeah, I wouldn't hold my fucking breath either. Socialist Representative Jamaal Bowman pulls the fire alarm as Dems try to delay vote on GOP stopgap spending bill. It's almost like, I don't know if you guys seen any of the proceedings. I think it was during the impeachment inquiry, one of the first rounds of that, where there was that, oh my God. Oh, like I said, I've been wanting to stream for a while. I just haven't necessarily been in the best of health to do as much. As you can tell right now, not exactly up to full health, but close enough. There was this goofy black bitch that was up there who looked like she was all of 26. Jasmine something or other. She looked like she should have been on a Fresh and Fit panel as opposed to an elected representative. I think she's from Texas or something like that. She had the Lily Lees. She had the long, drawn-out fingernails, and she was doing... Joe Biden is his only crime is that he loves his kid too much, running back that same rejoinder. But every single Democrat on that panel had a little screen. That had Republican shutdown that's right there. They just wanted that to come to fruition so that they could try to gloat about getting the Republicans to shut down the government. It's like, okay, Democrats are really good at playing to their base. By having the government shut down, actually reflects pretty well for the Republican base because they're not exactly the people that want to have government open so that they continue to send more of your taxpayer money over to, I was going to say the Middle East, but come on, Middle Eastern Europe. It's like, what's the difference? You just got a proxy forever war going on over there where you're spending hundreds of billions of dollars. So whatever, man. But yeah, no, at least with that 45-day stopgap bill that they have right now, no more additional money is going to be sent over to Ukraine. Or to the southern border where there's a current invasion going on. Like I said, there's so much news to talk about. There's only so many things that I can talk about in the videos every day. And to be completely honest, the politics shit doesn't really go as far. I don't know if it's my shadow banned, but I'm not going to be one of those guys that says, "Help, my channel's been shadow banned. You need to like, comment, and subscribe." I ain't going to pull that shit. If I want to talk politics and do a whole bunch of scattershot ideas, there was a guy. I hope maybe he'll see this live stream in the future. Maybe he's in the chat right now. Unfortunately, doing this diatribe right now between the Feinstein stuff and the Jamaal Bowman stuff. We'll get to the debate, or at least some of the debate here very shortly. Haven't been able to look at the chat or something something like that. But without doxing him and saying who he was, I think it was August 6th, I got the email, and it's a very good, to note who you are, it's a very good reference to a very good fighting game. Okay, so if you hear this, okay, just know that your message was received, and I read through it, and he was outlining, I think it's a he, at least by the reference that was made, that doing sort of a, not like Philip DeFranco, I'm straight and I don't want to, see anybody that I know and love get thrown under the bus just because we disagree ideologically. I just do more of a rundown on the daily basis type stuff. And it's like, yeah, I think that would work exceedingly well. And maybe we'll experiment with daily live streams maybe towards the end of the year. I'm thinking about that. I've been thinking about that quite a bit. But again, trying to get everything, back into the swing of things where, the header up top that says daily content and Saturday streams is a little bit more apropos, and at least they're at a reasonable time and not in the middle of the fucking night. But your boy's got to make good on some of his promises. But let's take a look what Bowman's trying to do, because no, this isn't speculation. It's not like he wandered down the hallways. It's like they caught him on film. I don't really want to have, the fire alarm go off in the background of a video that Marjorie Taylor Greene caught. I just wanted to take a look at Jamaal Bowman. There he is right there, pulling the fire alarm. Like, they got him dead to rights. What are they going to do about it? Socialist Representative Jamaal Bowman pulled the fire alarm in the House office building Saturday as Democrats tried to delay a bipartisan vote on a Republican stopgap spending bill. The wild incident in the Kennan building was caught on camera and confirmed by several witnesses. An investigation into why it was pulled is underway. No, it's pretty obvious. He's trying to be a martyr. Just, the Republicans are just, they're spewing all of their evil rhetoric, and their politics just can't stand. They want so many things that are going to be whatever the fuck else he's going to be talking about. So he did the good thing by pulling the fire alarm in order for it to just really sit in for the American public that the Republicans don't care about you. Meanwhile, Jamaal Bowman is doing all of this as a stunt that he can go ahead and say that I was the one that pulled the fire alarm. I was the one who saved our democracy. Fuck off. But yes, a spokesperson of the GOP-controlled administration committee told the Post. Bowman's spokeswoman, Emma Simon, admitted her boss made a mistake. How the fuck do you make a mistake? Do you go up to that and go, okay, I want to go down on this elevator that's definitely right there to my right. To my right, I will just pull the, oh boy, all of the lights are it's kind of like at my house where I got the chirps in the ceiling, and I can't figure out where exactly that is. It's just drifting into Foghorn Leghorn. I know that he's from New York and doesn't have a southern drawl, but it's more funny. Come on. Congressman Bowman didn't realize that he would trigger a building alarm as he was rushing to make an urgent vote. Why would you stop? Okay, if you were going to just play it off as like an elevator gag, or I don't even know what else you could go ahead and run with on that one, but how do you mistake an obvious fucking fire alarm? They have a very distinct look, for Christ's sakes. Like, it's a fire alarm. You have to pull it. How did you not know that was going to happen? And how is that the best lie that you can come up with? You're supposed to be a spokeswoman. You're supposed to have lies at the ready like that. Bowman insisted to reporters afterwards that he pulled the alarm handle because he thought it would open the door. That's not how doors work, you fucking retard. The door handle is on the fucking door. That's the one that you press. The fuck are you doing? Staten Island GOP Representative Nicole Greek office told the Post she would move to have Bowman expelled from the chamber. Yeah, exactly. Okay, but I would also move to have him criminally prosecuted because that's what the boy did. Not boy in like the Joe Biden sense, but whatever, take it how you want. New York Democrat Jamaal Bowman literally pulled a fire alarm to stall and prevent our efforts to force a vote to keep the federal government open. Pathetic. Criminal investigations need to happen, said upstate GOP Congressman Nick Langworthy. Absolutely, man, because there are people rotting in solitary confinement without even being on trial. For even less, for being asked to come into the same residence that he pulled the fire alarm on, being welcomed in, chaperoned around, shown the sights by the Capitol Hill Police Department. This guy right here knowingly committed a felony. Whereas the rest of the people, most of them that got snatched up, didn't even know on January 6th that they were committing a crime. Seems fair? Nah. We'll see what happens in the aftermath, or if this is just going to be one of those stories where, wow, that was shocking. Can you believe he pulled the fire alarm? Anyway, so about those Republican spending bills, I'd imagine it's going to go something like that. Creating a false fire alarm is a misdemeanor in the District of Columbia and punishable by up to 6 months in jail, or a fine, or if he's even going to be charged. But it's actually more important than that. No one in this country is above the law, Bowman himself said just months ago in a tweet attacking former President Trump and applauding his various indictments. Yeah, I've seen a couple of TikToks where he was laughing in front of the mugshot, which, yeah, of course, I was laughing at as well, knowing how stupid Democrats are that thought that would end up working. Like, what are you doing? House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said he would have a discussion with the Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries, about the Bowman situation. And Hakeem Jeffries says, I haven't seen the video, so I don't know what ended up happening. His hands on the fucking fire alarm, you idiot. But this should not go without punishment. This is an embarrassment, said Kevin McCarthy, a walking embarrassment. This is the United States Congress and not the New York City High School to pull the fire alarm to disrupt proceedings when we are trying to draft legislation to avert a shutdown is pathetic, even for members of the Socialist Squad. Malatiokis. The Greek said on X, yes. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, never one to miss an opportunity to clout chase, ripped the far-left political, Paul, whatever, for disrupting Saturday's activities before demanding the Department of Justice prosecute him for obstructing an official proceeding. There we go. There's the appropriate charge right there. The same charge has been used against January 6th rioters. Yeah, no, exactly. They would have charged him with riot if they could, but they didn't. So, obstructing an official proceeding. I think that's what Chansley, the Q shaman, ended up catching. How's that not the same thing? And that dude got led into the chambers by the Capitol Hill Police Department, if you don't remember. Democrats literally would do anything to shut our government down because billions aren't going to their favorite country, Ukraine. Hey, man, when MTG's right, she's right, but more often than not, she's just kind of a grifter. Capitol Police confirmed to the Post that the fire alarm was pulled at the Cannon Building just after noon and that the building was evacuated before it was determined that there was no threat. The Post reached out to Bowman for comment, but he's too busy going, if you ask me questions, that's racist or sexist or homophobic. I don't know what cards he can pull on that one, but realistically, it kind of pales in comparison because Democrats, they will get away with literally fucking anything because are the Republicans going to hold them accountable? I haven't heard anything yet. This happened earlier today, like early, first thing in the morning. That's what ended up happening. And then after the little stunt ended up playing out, there was a whole bunch of fist wagging, but what ended up happening? Not a lot. We'll see Monday. We'll see Monday when everybody gets back, but I don't think anything's going to end up happening, so it's like, okay, cool. The Democrats can get away with anything. The GOP will continue to try to capitulate to both sides. And, well, that's why they end up losing. That's why Republicans end up fucking losing, end up looking stupid. And, well, speaking of looking stupid, they managed to assemble the 7 dumbest looking individuals up there on the stage. And, well, I watched some of this. I actually watched some of the Crowder, not at the time that it was going on. I was kind of busy doing work and all that shit. But no, I watched some of the coverage in the aftermath. And, well, Crowder's coverage was actually better than I anticipated. I mostly anticipated a bunch of unfunny comedic cutaways. And, well, Nick DiPaolo was up there just, roasting fat-ass Chris Christie. Roasting Christie. And it goes along in a sentence more often than not. But, no, it was pretty good coverage. But then also listening to some of the responses that the people on the stage were giving, I made a couple of notes, and I think I put out a couple of posts on X there as well, just noting how Vivek Ramaswamy was probably the biggest letdown. The person, there was no clear-cut winner of this debate. I guess, Ron DeSantis did what Ron DeSantis was going to do, end up giving Biden the best soundbite of his entire campaign, and Doug Burgum, I don't know, maybe people know who he is after this, other than a guy who's just doing a really weird Martin Scorsese impression. Nikki Haley came off as unhinged as possible, but didn't make any overt shout-outs to her favorite country. Mike Pence just hit some talking points, but Yeah, who else was that? Oh, yeah, Chris Christie with the cringiest fucking thing in the world. Thinking that, okay, somebody also with the first name Donald, yeah, one of the most hack insults that you can go ahead and levy. He really thought that he hit a home run on that one, but holy shit, bro. Like, that was... Yeah, there's a swing and a miss, and then there's Chris Christie really thinking that, oh, we're going to... Hey, if you Donald Trump, well, we'll get to it at least during the coverage that's out here. I have this sped up to about $1.50, 1.5 speed, because I think it's a 2-hour long debate, and even still, man, like there's so many fucking commercials that's in there, because obviously Fox News ended up having the coverage. Rumble, shout out to Rumble, that's where we're watching it. They had the exclusive rights to the proprietary live stream, and they ended up having to run the feed as well, which kind of sucks for them, but we'll be able to jump ahead a little bit at the time. And yeah, watching it at 1.5 speed, you don't end up losing anything outside of just how deliberate and slow and methodical the talking speed of all of these assholes are. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that one. And now that I can play this stuff and we can listen to all the nonsense, I'll be stopping a little bit as we go along to just add the additional commentary, but now I'll also be able to hop into the chat, see if anybody's watching this goddamn atrocity. Seeing the rookie was in here early. Shout out to you. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and full screen this, and we can... It's been a second. Shut up. Okay, I know what I'm doing. God damn it. I'm a professional. I've been doing this. I've been doing this for 3 years. Actually, it'll be 3 years. 3 years of the three days. Actually, tomorrow, or depending on where you're at right now. Surprise! Today's 3-year anniversary or whatever. I even missed like the 3 years that I've been doing this. It was August 26th or something like that. I put up my first video. I'm really bad at commemorating anything, you know, and any like anniversaries or some shit like that. Realistically, it doesn't fucking much matter. I'm here. I do content for you guys, and I get to interact with you on stream. So without further ado, let's go. And if it is too fast for anybody, just let me know. But I think it's fine. Oh Christ! Come on! Oh, it's probably because I loaded it up so early or so long ago. Okay, go. No. Boo. Boo. False start. Boo. Okay, it's 36. Yeah, 36:53. Okay, yes. Oh, no, good. It's actually going to go ahead and start right there. Yes, we're at the Ronald Reagan Library. Yes.
Is set for a showdown.
There we go. Oh, my God. Yeah, we're set for a showdown.
Of Fox Business, and I am thrilled to be sitting alongside my...
Yes, alongside your co-hosts. Yes, Stuart Varney. That's wonderful and fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and bump it up.
Fox News Channel Dana Farino,
there we go.
Univision.
Yeah, it works with Univision.
President Reagan famously described America as a shining city on a hill. And tonight, 7 candidates will make
we
the
need
case
to bump this
they should
fucking
be the one to lead that city into a brighter tomorrow. But first, they have to convince you, the voter. Please allow me to welcome our Spanish-speaking audience. Muy buenas noches a todos. Desde la biblioteca...
Yeah, I've seen somebody else point this out as well. Like, the first thing that Fox News ends up doing is trying to cater to their Spanish-speaking audience. It's like, first and foremost, you fuckers, okay, you are American. What is the official language of... what is the official language of America? Well, I think that's pretty fucking self-explanatory. Is it Spanish, though? Nope. Are you currently being invaded by a whole bunch of Spanish-speaking individuals at the southern border? Fucking A rights. Why would you go ahead and do that? And then throughout the rest of the debate, either I didn't hear it or it was a very small talking point. Didn't really mention southern border security or the fact that there is... Elon Musk. Elon Musk has done more for border security than any one of those fucking losers that is up there on the debate stage. Let that one sink in for a second. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the right one. I'll eventually figure this shit out. Okay, let's go.
Presidencial Ronald Reagan, los precandidatos republicanos también buscan su voto para ¡arriba! Bienvenidos.
And good evening. So let's meet the candidates who have qualified and chosen to be on this stage tonight. They are positioned by the order they rank in the polls, with the highest polling candidate in the middle.
Are
Standing
people
center
that
stage, Florida
turned
Governor Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis. I look like a real boy. Oh my God. Your biggest disappointment on the night, but...
And former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley.
Boo.
It's South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. And former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie.
On the wing tonight, former Vice President Mike Pence. And North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum.
We have questions on a wide variety of issues important to primary
there we go.
voters. Candidates get 1 minute to answer and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was just paying attention. Yeah, puddle of AIDS. That's a guy right after my own heart right there. But yeah, the Michigan rally that Trump held, that was really good because he's down there talking to the United Auto Workers who, okay, again, when it comes to unions, I don't hold them in any regard at all whatsoever. They might as well be up there on that debate stage. But the way that Trump was talking to the actual workers themselves as opposed to the unions, he did exceptionally well. And also... And I think the next time that we do a stream or something like that, or I might have to work it in somehow along the way with a video or something. He was in California after all of these losers scurry out of the state to just go and, I don't know, probably try to fundraise in Iowa because, we're about 100 days away from the caucus where none of these fuckers are going to end up drawing like that anyways. But, yeah, Trump was talking to a bunch of people in California as well, and he was dropping, hey, we got to go indict the motherfucker. And he was also making hilarious shit, like just mocking Joe Biden by pretending to run into the banner that he had behind him. Shit was gold. It was hilarious. But yeah, no, I think definitely the Michigan speech was a hell of a lot better. And shout out to my boy, Take Back America from Dem Boys.
Seconds to respond if singled out. When their time runs out, we'll all hear this. We have a lot of ground to cover, so please keep it civilized.
Let's get going. We are in this spacious, sunny place tonight, designed to reflect the very nature and character of Ronald Reagan. It's a place that makes you proud to be an American.
Of course, guys, remember Ronald Reagan? You remember Reagan?
And incivility.
Voters say they dread the 2024 election and find politics exhausting. 2 in 3 Americans think the country is on the wrong track.
Yo, that's one way to phrase that, okay? People are dreading the 2024 election. No, okay, like I understand that maybe I just run in a bit of a different circle than, I don't know, fucking Buenos Noches that's up there, but people are looking forward to it, mostly because, well, okay, 2 out of 3 people think that the country is on the wrong track, so now they have an opportunity to make some fucking changes. So without substantiating any of her first claims, you're also going to find that that's the way that she likes to phrase any of her questions. It's a very loaded, because the way that Crowder pointed it out, and I couldn't verify this independently, but she said that Donald Trump's rhetoric, it's a very divisive, and it also empowers white supremacy. So why Fox News has her up there on the dais is far beyond me.
And 3 in 4 say the economy is not in good shape.
Prices are up 18% since 2020.
That's it.
More than half of the U.S. population has little access to childcare. 85% of Americans say their personal finances are a source of stress.
Americans want to believe a leader who says, you can follow me. I've got you. Don't worry. President Biden is trying to do that with Bidenomics.
And yesterday, he joined the picket lines where auto workers are demanding... Senator Scott, you recently reacted by praising Ronald Reagan for firing air traffic controllers in the 1980s, saying, you strike, you're fired. Would you fire thousands of striking auto workers today, Senator?
Obviously, the President of the United States cannot fire anybody in the private sector. However, we should look back at the first bill in Congress under Joe Biden. The first bill had $86 billion for the union pensions because they continue to overpromise yet underdeliver. One of the challenges that we have in the current negotiations is that they want 4-day French work weeks, but more money. They want more benefits, working fewer hours.
Why is the first thing that the GOP needs to address? Because, okay, there are certain issues. You can go ahead and address the economy. That's something else that they could very much at the front of mind for a whole bunch of Republican voters. But you know what else is at the front of mind? Election integrity. Yeah, something that the leading candidate is very much one of the only people that's trumpeting this. Or the fact that, the Democratic field right now, guys are all scumbags. Can you go ahead and address that? Nope. We're just going to go ahead and start by pandering to the unions.
Is simply not going to stand. I sat in a finance committee hearing when a widow came before the committee who was promised pensions from the unions, $4,000 a month. Unfortunately, it had been cut to $1,000 a month. We must make sure that we honor the commitments that we make, and one of the ways that we do that, do not overpromise and then underdeliver and leave the taxpayers on the hook. I'll say this.
Which is everything that you would have to do in order to just to capitulate to those ridiculous agreements that those unions ended up delivering to begin with. So what are you going to do? Retroactively go back on all of those agreements that kind of led to the strikes to begin with because you gave them so much? And it's almost like you haven't thought about this and you just think that it would sound good on the debate stage. I didn't mention Tim Scott because I forgot about Tim Scott.
Joe Biden should not be on the picket line. He should be on the southern border working to close our southern border because it is unsafe, wide open, and insecure, leading to the deaths of 70,000 Americans in the last 12 months because of fentanyl. It is devastating. Every county in America is now a border county because fentanyl has devastated Americans in every single state. I will also say 6 million illegal crossings since Joe Biden has taken office, and he eliminated Title 42. The one thing he should do is finish the wall, reinstate Title 42, and get the job done.
Oh, very emphatic. But you know who else says that and says it better? And you don't have to play it at 1.5 speed in order for it to be palatable. The guy that you don't want to mention.
I can promise you that we are going to have a lot of questions on the border and immigration, but in the meantime, we do want to talk about the economy and jobs, and especially want to talk about this strike for just a moment more. Mr. Ramaswamy, you've said you really empathize with the strikers. You're standing next to Senator Scott. Do you agree with what he said, or do you think...
Okay, I know I need a haircut, but Vivek...
he's wrong.
I agree with some of what he said, for sure. I like the spirit of it. I'll say that I don't have a lot of patience for the union bosses. I think that's where he and I actually have a common view. I do have a lot of sympathy for the workers, however. People are going through real hardship in this country. I've been through hardship growing up. My father stared down layoffs at GE under Jack Welch's tenure at the GE plant in Evendale, Ohio. My mom had to work overtime in nursing homes in Southwest Ohio to make ends meet and pay off our home loan.
And she had to take a side job selling pussy so that I could get some new toys.
Understand that hardship is not a choice. But victimhood is a choice, and we choose to be victorious in the United States of America. You know what, if I was giving advice to those workers, I would say go picket in front of the White House in Washington, D.C. That's really where the protest needs to be. Disastrous economic policies that have driven up prices, that have driven up interest rates and mortgage rates. At the same time, wages remaining stagnant. What we need is to deliver economic growth in this country. Unlock American energy. Drill, frack, burn coal, embrace nuclear energy. Put people back to work.
Burn coal, Tim Scott pipes up.
By no longer paying them more money to stay at home, stabilize the U.S. dollar itself, and rescind a majority of those unconstitutional federal regulations that are hampering our economy. That is how we unleash American exceptionalism. And that's not a Democratic vision or a Republican vision. That is an American vision that we embrace economic growth, and capitalism is still the best system known to man to lift us up from poverty, and we should not apologize for it. That's what it means to be an American.
That was about his only good answer on the entire night.
The CEOs of General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis make 336 times the number of rank and file workers. That's just part of a wider income inequality trend in the country. The richest 1% now controls 1/5 of all income. Vice President Pence, last week you said you side with American workers, but you also support how these companies operate. Which is it?
Well, thank you for the question. I want to thank Univision and Fox Business for assembling such a wonderful forum.
Oh, so nice. I don't have anything original to say that you couldn't find on a bumper sticker, and I was so great to be a part of the Trump-Pence ticket. Oh, can't say his name. I'm so happy for what we accomplished.
Look, I do disagree with something Tim Scott just said. Joe Biden doesn't belong on a picket line. He belongs on the unemployment line.
Oh!
I mean, look, I'm from the second leading manufacturing.
Oh, did you hear that applause break for that hack fucking joke?
Something Tim Scott just said. Joe Biden doesn't belong on a picket line. He belongs on the unemployment line. I mean, look, I'm from the second leading manufacturing state in the country per capita. I was governor of the state of Indiana. We brought 12,000 factories back to America during our administration. I know something about manufacturing.
Our
and I got to tell you, while the union bosses are talking about class warfare and talking about disparity in wages, I have to tell you, I really believe what's driving that is Bidenomics has failed. Wages are not keeping up with inflation. Auto workers and all American workers are feeling it, and families are struggling in this economy. And Joe Biden's Green New Deal agenda is good for Beijing and bad for Detroit. Yeah. We ought to repeat.
Guys, we hate socialists, right? Right, we hate socialists, okay? The Chinese Communist Party is coming. They're coming to knock down a door and fentanyl. Oh, God, inauthenticity was the theme on the evening.
The Green New Deal, get rid of the mandates and subsidies that are driving American gasoline automotive manufacturing into the graveyard. And beyond that...
No, that's Joe Biden canceling all of the leases to drill within the continental United States, and just recently, any new drilling that is happening in Alaska. And fucking, there's nothing in, what are you gonna do? End up, displacing a fucking penguin? Like, just drill, just take sticks of dynamite and throw it into the ground and you can strike oil, for Christ's sakes. There's nothing there. It's ice. What are you worried about displacing ice?
And also, as President of the United States, I'll be standing with workers all across America, and I'll be standing for the right to work of every American to join a union or not join a union as they decide.
Senator Scott, you were mentioned. Would you care to respond?
There's no doubt that Joe Biden needs to be fired. That's why I'm running for president. I look forward to being the next president of the United States. I will also say, I know America can do for anyone what she's done for me. It's why we're focusing on restoring hope, creating opportunities, and protecting the America we all love. Growing up in a single-parent household, I wondered if the American dream would work for a kid in the inner city. I've got good news for every single child, whether you're in the inner cities of Chicago or the rural parts of Iowa. America and the dream, it is alive, it is well, and it is healthy. God bless these United States of America.
It'll look wonderful on another bumper sticker, but okay, cool. You're kind of speaking to 40% of kids that are now born to a broken or a single mother household, so that's a lot of people. But you said that the American dream is alive and well. Qualify that. What do you mean by that? Where you can just go and been seeing so many of those stupid memes that I don't even believe. Okay, here's the family in the 1950s loading $20 of groceries into their $3,000 car to go back home to their $15,000 house. Yeah, prices are out of control at this point in time, but also there's a lot of people pointing, oh my God, I just can't afford. There was this other dumb bitch that was down there. She was complaining, I spend half of my money on my rent. And it's like, where do you live? And are you house poor? Are you just trying to live in a place that you can't afford, but you just want to be there because the rest of your friends, or you think that it's cool, or you got a good view that you can post on the gram? There's a lot of things that people are doing that are just not feasible, or it's like, oh, okay, cool, you can't afford it. Okay, let's just say that they're being authentic with their perception of events. Okay, they're spending 50% of their wages on rent. It's like, okay, you're doing the best that you can. You're probably not working as hard as you can. You probably aren't doing a side hustle. You probably aren't maximizing your time that's out there. So yeah, if you're in a tough spot right now and you're grinding, look to see how many costs you can minimize, because I would just tend to believe most people born in a single parent household, yeah, they're probably not living up to their full potential. Just saying.
Dr. Haley, you raise your hand.
I think we need to look at exactly what happened. Biden showed up on that picket line. But why are those workers actually there? It's because of all of the spending that he has pushed through in the economy that's raised the inflation. So
who wore it better? I think I did.
when you look at the fact that we are paying higher gas prices, higher grocery prices, $7,000 more a year for families, what we need to do is I came out with an economic plan, eliminate the gas and diesel tax so that they have more money in their pocket. Let's focus on going after middle America and cutting taxes for middle America and collapsing those brackets. Let's get rid of unfair distortions like the state and local tax that they give to wealthy people in blue states and paid by red states. And let's make sure we make the small business taxes permanent. They only made those temporary. They made the corporate taxes permanent. Let's focus on what it takes to get more cash in the pockets of workers. That's when we'll be able to deal with strikes like this, not sitting on a picket line like Joe Biden is.
Thank you, Governor Haley. We have other questions to get to about the economy. Allow me to.
I'm sorry.
Allow me to.
We're missing the point, and every other network is missing the point. The reason why people are striking in Detroit is because Joe Biden's interference with.
Goodfellas is fantastic. I love Casino, Raging Bull.
Capital markets and with free markets. The subsidies, we're subsidizing the automakers and we're subsidizing the cars and a particular kind of car, not every car, we're subsidizing electric vehicles. And when you decide that we're going to take all of your taxpayer monies, take $1 billion, subsidize a certain type of vehicle, and the batteries come from China. China controls 85% of the rare earth minerals. They're called rare earth because they're measured in parts per million. China is moving 100,000 pounds of earth in Indonesia, in Africa. They're literally destroying the planet so that we can make a battery that's in a car subsidized here. That's why they're striking, because they need 2/3 less workers to build an electric car. Joe Biden, this strike is at Joe Biden's feet.
We're going to keep the topic of economy, but allow me to the follow question to Governor Christie. The government will shut down if Congress does not reach a deal by the end of this week. Vice President Pence warns that politics of, quote, Trump's populist proteges, like Mr. Ramaswamy, are a road to ruin for the GOP.
Can we get subtitles for her?
If the government shuts down, should voters blame populists?
The Chris Christie's over there just thinking churro, tacos, soft shell tacos, grab box.
Republicans?
Voters should blame everybody who's in Washington, D.C. They get sent down there to do the job, and they've been failing at doing the job for a very long time. And let's be honest about this with the voters. You know, during the Trump administration, they added $7 trillion. $7 trillion in national debt. And now the Biden administration has put...
Yeah, what was the time frame on that one, fat ass?
Another $5 trillion on and counting. They have failed, and they're in the spot they're in now because none of them are willing to tell the truth. None of them are willing to take on the difficult issues. They just want to keep kicking the can down the road. And the inflation that Nikki spoke about is absolutely right, and it's caused by government spending. And that's why people all across this country are suffering tonight. And yet we don't get any answers because Joe Biden hides in his basement and won't answer as to why he's raising the debt the way he's done. And Donald Trump hides behind the walls of his golf clubs and won't show up here to answer questions like all...
The walls of his golf clubs.
All the rest of us are up here
I guess he didn't rehearse that one like he did with his next zinger.
to answer. He put $7 trillion on the debt. He should be in this room to answer those questions for the people you talk about who are suffering. And if the government closes, it's the blame. It is to the blame of everyone in Washington D.C. who has failed to do their job and just plays to the grandstand.
The next question is for Governor DeSantis.
Here's how we get done in Washington. We must find
Can we please respect the time?
Robot Ron.
DeSantis, you haven't spoken, please.
The people in Washington are shutting down the American dream with their reckless behavior. They borrowed, they printed, they spent, and now you're paying more for everything. They are the reason for that. They have shut down our national sovereignty by allowing our border to be wide open. So please spare me the crocodile tears for these people. They need to change what's going on. And where's Joe Biden? He's completely missing in action from leadership. And you know who else is missing in action? Donald Trump is missing in action. He should be on this stage
don't want
tonight.
that
He owes
smoke
it to
there,
you
shorty.
to defend his record, where they added $7.8 trillion to the debt. That set the stage for the inflation that we have now. I can tell you this is Governor.
Yeah, that ended up being the soundbite that the Biden campaign was running with. Oh no, you know who actually caused the inflation? Oh, that was Donald Trump. After he had to end up oh God, what was the way that he did that? What the fuck were those stupid ass checks called? Anyways, he had to cut the checks for, you know, the kids that were shut down, okay, by his states, including Florida, by the way, that ended up shutting down for an indeterminate amount of time. DeSantis did a little bit better than other places, but he still shut down at the end of the day. It's funny how his attacks, especially when it comes to COVID, have really started to taper off in regards to Trump, because everybody's starting to run back, and I think all of his stupid staff are starting to realize that, yeah, we're kind of getting cooked on that talking point. So what are we going to do? Oh, he doesn't want to debate us. We'll call him a chicken.
Florida, we cut taxes, we ran surpluses, we paid down over 25% of our state debt, and I vetoed wasteful spending when it came to my desk. And as your president, when they send me a bloating spending bill that's going to cause your prices to go up, I'm going to take out this veto pen and I'm going to send it right back to them.
Ilya, you mentioned the union question. I just want to address
I'm just going to stop my question that is on the minds of a lot of moms and dads and Americans, and I know that you've been thinking about it because childcare costs, they are up. They're topping $10,000 per month. Some families are spending up to half of their income on childcare, and they're having to decide, is it worth it for me to work, or does it not make sense for me financially? In 3 days, the billions of dollars in pandemic-era funding is going to end, and 70,000 daycares could close. So you had an effort to broaden eligibility for child care assistance. That fell apart last year. And for the moms and dads out there who are worried, what can you tell them? If you weren't able to get it through the Congress, how could you do it as president?
Certainly one of the things I did as a member of Congress was to make sure that we protected the Head Start programs around the country, giving people the opportunity to pick and choose the place that they send their children. The challenges that we see today under the Biden administration is that the cost for daycare has gone over $15,000 per child. In the Build Back Broker plan, he called it the Build Back Better plan, it was up to $29,000. The way we fix that problem is to make sure that we actually cut taxes and give more Americans their money back. When I helped write the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, we actually lowered a single mother's taxes by 70% on the federal level. For dual income households by 60%. Then we went a step further. We doubled the child tax credit and made it refundable. By doing that, more parents had more resources to make the decisions how to take care of their family. The one thing we should do is let the American people keep their money. When that happens, the greatest opportunities rise from the ashes.
Okay, you have 15 seconds. Go ahead. And you're the border.
Ilya mischaracterized part of my view. I think this artificial division is unhelpful in our party. The real divide is not between the Republicans on this stage. And in the Reagan Library, I want to say these are good people on this stage.
Bro, they don't care. You're barking up the wrong tree. These are good people that are on the stage. Somebody got into his ear. And that's what I ended up tweeting out. And it's like, somebody told him, oh yeah, you need to play nice with everybody that's down there. You attacking people and then ending up winning the debate. Oh, it's just not a very good look for you. We're a Republican Party is a big tent party, and we all just need to come together at the end of the day. At the end of this divisive election cycle, we're all going to have to work to shut the fuck up, okay? How did Trump win in 2016? You don't want to talk about 2020? That's fine. How did he win in 2016? By attacking everybody that's up there and then playing nice in the aftermath. You know, trying to make good in the middle of a war, you know, just standing out in the middle of no man's land. Guys, we can come to a diplomatic solution right now. The only thing that's going to end up getting solved by that is you catching a fucking stray in the head, which is ultimately what's going to happen with your fucking poll numbers after this, Vivek. So stupid.
The real divide is between the majority of us in this country who love the United States of America and share our founding ideals. Free speech, meritocracy, the idea you get ahead in this country not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character, and the fringe minority in the Democrat Party that has a chokehold over that party. That's the real divide. So this populist versus classical debate is artificial. We need to unite this party.
he's talking with 2016 talking points. Actually, probably even earlier than that. Oh, there's a fringe minority of people in that party. It's a good party. There's a lot of good people that are over there. Yeah, if there was a lot of them, they would fucking speak up and they would be the majority of the positions. You talk to a majority. You talk to anybody that's in the Democratic Party that is elected on that platform. They all believe with the most radical aspects of that party. Of late-term abortions, you got it, okay? Enormous amounts of spending, 100%. Sending all the money over to the Ukraine. I understand that that's a uniparty problem, but how many times do the Democrats dissent on that? I don't see anybody voting against any of that stuff. So to just go ahead and say, no, it's just the squad types. It's just the far left types. It's the socialist ones. No. That's the party. That's who you're fighting against. You trying to make good with them, it's not going to be a two-way street on that one. You're just going to be trying to make friends with a pit bull, and we all know how well that works.
I want to answer the question on
childcare. We have millions.
We have all these questions. We're going to get to you. We're going to come back to you. There's a lot of time.
About childcare, nobody answered the question. In North Dakota, we knew that the cliff was coming. We knew that there was going to be millions of people without it. And so guess what? We planned.
Okay.
When we passed legislation because childcare.
We will get you some questions, but you're going to have to let us move on. We are going to the border next.
Childcare is workforce infrastructure.
In 1984, President Ronald Reagan said the following.
Oh my God.
Idea of amnesty.
I don't know where the fuck I am. Where's Nancy? What happened to her tits? God damn it.
For those who have put down roots and who have lived here, even though sometime back they may have entered illegally.
2 years later, President Reagan granted amnesty to nearly 3 million immigrants, something no Democrat or Republican president has done since. Governor Christie, as governor of a non-border state in 2010, you supported a path to citizenship. But when you ran for president in 2016...
Yeah, this is what they talk about. This is what they talk about instead of the, how many hundreds of thousands of people are pouring over across the border. Do you support a path to amnesty? Do you support so the way that my family can come up here and we can look at citizenship and not vote for any of you fuckers?
You flipped, saying immigrants should be tracked like FedEx packages. Where do you stand now?
Where's that Chris Christie? Well, where does he stand? Everywhere on that stage. Hopefully in a place that's well reinforced.
On a path to citizenship for 11 million of undocumented immigrants.
Well, the problem is...
Yeah, you know where I stand? Yeah, get the fuck back over the border. Hop in this trebuchet. That's where you can go ahead and get your passport.
Is that since no one has done anything since we first had this discussion 13 years ago, we're not in a position to be able to do any of that anymore. What we have to do now is first treat this like the law enforcement problem it is. Our laws are being broken every day at the southern border. Every day. And Joe Biden and his crew is doing nothing about enforcing that law. They are letting it go. And by the way, they announced during the presidential race they were going to let it go. And we need to have a president who acts like I did as governor. Enforce the law, first and foremost. And that means what I'll do on day one is sign an executive order to send the National Guard to partner with Customs and Border Patrol to make sure that we stop the flow of fentanyl over the border, but also to make sure that we send a much different message. We want you here in this country to fill the 6 million vacant jobs we have, but only if you come here to follow the law and only if you come here legally. If you come here illegally, we will apprehend you and we will send you back across the border from which you came. And the fact is that until we set a law and order agenda in this country, not only now but in the future, we won't be able to continue this. And I'll tell you this, Donald Trump failed on this as well. He said he was going to build a wall across the whole border. He built 52 miles of wall and said Mexico would pay for it. Guess what? I think if Mexico knew that he was only going to build 52 miles, they might have paid for the 52 miles.
Thank you, Governor.
Oh, got him.
Most illegal immigrants are coming from countries south of the border. You've seen the Fox News drone. It's captured the steady stream of people coming into the country on a daily basis. In fact, I believe we have a live picture of it tonight. That is happening right now, live.
How about we talk
about this? In the last decade,
this?
the U.S. has spent nearly $55 billion to address the root causes of migration. But crime, poverty, and corruption, they persist, and the number of migrants is only growing. Are we wasting our money?
Well, what happens is when Joe Biden waved the green flag, it told everybody to come. And now we've seen 6 million people cross the border. We've had more fentanyl that have killed Americans in the Iraq, Vietnam, or Afghanistan wars combined. We need to make sure that we are a country of laws. The second we stop...
You notice the pivot? Okay, cool. Yeah, there's people that's pouring across the border. Fentanyl. Oh my God. It's almost like, check this out. They think that if they just bring over enough illegal immigrants, they can make their neocon worldview once again profitable. Okay, like they want the cheap labor. That's ultimately what they want, so that you can go ahead and have a deeper class divide. The way that the neo-libs just want to, bring them on in, and then also just they'll vote Democrat because we just let them in. But no, they want the cheap labor. All of these fucking neocons that are on the stage, no, address that shit. People don't want that. They want them to stay the fuck over there. If they're gonna come over, you got to go through the legal channels. But if you're just incentivizing all of this shit to just come up and you can go stand outside of a Home Depot. You go get a job that way. we don't really care. We'll just go ahead and turn a blind eye, and if you cause some problems, then we'll just kick you out. But no, instead of addressing the problems that people actually care about, no, it's about fentanyl and all the drugs that are out there. It's bad and all that shit, but I think it's more, it's more inflated than Chris Christie's waistline.
Being a country of laws, we give up everything this country was founded on. So we have to secure the border. The way we do that is, first of all, defund sanctuary cities. You see what's happening in Philadelphia right now. It's got to stop. We need to make sure we put 25,000 more Border Patrol and ICE agents on the ground and let them do their job. I spent 400 miles down that border, and I'm telling you, Border Patrol agents aren't allowed to do their job. Let's go back to Remain in Mexico policy. Instead of catch and release, let's go to catch and deport.
What about the aid that federal taxpayers are paying to deal with the root causes? It's not working?
The only aid that we should be spending right now is to secure the border, the southern border, the northern border, period. We need to keep Americans safe. And right now, Americans are not safe. Only when we fix the immigration system, only when we get the border secure, should we ever look at putting any more money into this. Our money should be about keeping Americans safe. We're not doing that. Joe Biden's not doing that. And you mentioned Congress and shutting down government. I'll make it clear. We have to change the budget process in 4 years, in 40 years. Congress has only delivered a budget on time 4 times in 40 years. Right. If they don't keep the government open, they should not get paid. No pay, no budget. That's the way we should.
Governor DeSantis, we have a question for you. Governor DeSantis, China invested $12 billion in Latin America just last year. They signed strategic partnerships with 7 countries, including Mexico. And China's military ties to the region now include arms sales and training exercises. Are you comfortable with China deepening ties with our southern neighbors?
Of course not. And the reason why we're in this mess is because elites in D.C. for far too long have chosen surrender over strength when it comes to the CCP. Some people in our country got rich, our industrial base got hollowed out, and they have been able to build the second most powerful military in the entire world. We need a totally new approach to China. We are going to have real hard power in the Indo-Pacific, like Reagan, to deter their ambitions. We're going to have economic independence from China, where we're decoupling our economy, and we are going to go after the cultural power they have in this country. As governor of Florida, I banned the CCP from buying land in our state. We should do that all across these United States. We shouldn't have them in our universities. We shouldn't have Confucius institutes. So you see a country in decline.
Yeah, that's all great and shit. It should just be no international investors buying up. Unless you have citizenship within a country, just you can't fucking buy the land that it is on. I'm fading. We're going to the commercial break, and I'm just fucking calling it there.
Our power's in decline. China's going to surpass us this decade, and if they do that, that's going to affect every single American household. As your president, I am not going to let that happen. I'm going to reverse this country's decline. We are going to choose strength, not surrender when it comes to the CCP.
Yeah, whatever.
America's not a country in decline. Under Joe Biden, we are a country in retreat.
You propose, quote, universal deportation for all undocumented immigrants and their children, even if the children are citizens of the United States. Under what legal premise will you expel U.S. citizens?
So the first thing I want to say is I agree with everything the Republicans on the stage are on the right side of this issue. Militarize the southern border, stop funding sanctuary cities, and end foreign aid to Mexico and Central America to end the incentives to come across. But I do go a step further. You're right about that, Ilya. I favor ending birthright citizenship for the kids of illegal immigrants in this country. Now, the left will howl about the Constitution and the 14th Amendment. The difference between me and them...
Now, that's a better stop frame for him. But no. Vivek, for as bad as his let's just all come together, bro, as terrible as that turn is, still got good policies, okay? Like, he's the go-to after Trump, but then at the same time, it's like, if you're going to be listening to people in your ear just telling you to just come together, it'd be very interesting to see what happens with the next debate that comes up, which I don't know if we'll live stream that one, but I know that there's another debate that's going to be coming up between Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis, which, we're going to be watching that one, and yeah, that's really going to expose some things that are going to be very uncomfortable for a lot of people.
As I've actually read the 14th Amendment. What it says is that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the laws and jurisdiction thereof are citizens. So nobody believes that the kid of a Mexican diplomat in this country enjoys birthright citizenship. Not a judge or legal scholar in this country will disagree with me on that. Well, if the kid of a Mexican diplomat doesn't enjoy birthright citizenship, then neither does the kid of an illegal migrant who broke the law to come here. And as the father of 2 sons, it is hard for me to look them in the eye and say, you have to follow the law when our own government fails to follow its own laws. That's how we really go the distance and solve this problem and restore the rule of law in the United States of America, because that is part of what it even means to be an American.
Senator Scott, you oppose ending birthright citizenship. What does Mr. Ramaswamy have wrong on that issue?
Yeah, there's no doubt the fact that when you think of the Constitution and the 14th Amendment, it was certainly written as it relates to slavery, not as it relates to illegal immigration. It's been applied to illegal immigration. So the challenge that we face is...
You can still go ahead and apply it to another means just because it was intended for... He knows that.
In fact, one that has to do with whether or not the people that come here are under the jurisdiction of our laws. And frankly, if you come here illegally, you are not. Now, surviving a Supreme Court argument is something I can't tell you. But from a perspective of the Constitution, I think it's simple, that clearly it was designed for slavery and not for illegal immigration. I'll go one step further, though. When we have a conversation about the things that are happening on this stage, we think about the fact that Vivek just said we were all good people, and I appreciate that, because last debate, he said we were all bought and paid for. And I thought about that for a little while and said, you know, I can't imagine how you could say that knowing that you were just in business with the Chinese Communist Party and the same people that funded Hunter Biden millions of dollars was a partner of yours as well. It's not nonsense.
So look,
oh my God.
I want to respond. These are good people who are tainted by a broken system. It's not the fault of anybody who's in power.
Some of us are tainted.
Oh my God, you just got directly attacked, and it's like, guys, stop hitting me so much, okay? I know I'm an easy target. I know I'm an easy target. Go ahead and gang up on me, but come on, we're all friends, right? They hate you. They hate you, Vivek.
Thank you for speaking while I'm interrupting.
You said
If I may finish.
you can't be on both sides.
Gentlemen, you'll have your turn.
One of the challenges is that we
Please focus on the issues that matter. We know the business in China. Everybody knows that.
If I may
focus on holding Joe Biden accountable. That's what we need to be.
I actually agree with Ron
When everybody
DeSantis.
speaks at the same time, no one can understand
Exactly.
the message.
So if I may, I agree with Ron DeSantis on China. When every other CEO expanded into the Chinese market, you know what I did with my first company? We opened a subsidiary in China. But you know what I did that was different than every other company? We got the hell out of there. And when I started my next company, Strive, right when years ago, right when I started my next company, Strive, to compete against BlackRock, to compete against BlackRock, I made a commitment that we would never do business in China. And I will say something.
I think you have more than time to explain your point.
Well, if I was interrupted by a lot of people here, and I want to be respectful because I believe these are people, but I do not believe in these. We're sitting here in the Reagan Library.
Yes, I wish you
in
did not
honor
think it was
of Ronald Reagan's
America.
library. If I may, from one admirer of Ronald Reagan.
Yo, all this dick sucking of Reagan, it's like, I understand he was a good president and all that shit, but just, we're here at the Ronald Reagan Library. Yeah, he'd call you all faggots, so shut up.
From one admirer of Reagan to another, we cannot see
This isn't productive.
Let's have a policy debate.
What's going on?
Let's have a policy debate. And the right answer is we need to declare independence from China.
Thank you very
And I will
much.
see that through.
Vice President Pence, in 2017, the Trump-Pence administration canceled DACA, which put the legal status
Yay.
of 600,000 Dreamers in the hands of the courts. Dreamers work and they pay taxes. As president, if the Supreme Court ends DACA, would you work with Congress to reach a permanent solution for Dreamers?
Well, first, let me say I'm glad Vivek pulled out of his business deal in 2018 in China. That must have been about the time you decided to start voting in presidential elections. So nice to have you participating in elections. So let me speak to this issue. Number one.
Yeah, he started voting in 2018 at presidential elections. I read around the same time he could not vote for you.
One, I negotiated the Remain in Mexico policy with the Mexican government. We used economic power to bring the Mexican government to the table. We built hundreds of miles of border wall, and despite what's said here today, we reduced illegal immigration and asylum abuse by 90%. And as President of the United States, I can do it again.
Is your partner in this room right now,
The truth is we
Mike?
need to fix a broken immigration system, and I'll do that as well. But first and foremost, a nation without borders is not a nation. And we have to secure the southern border of the United States of America. I know how to do it, and we will do it again. Let me say one other thing about China. Would you
negotiate with Congress to give a solution to the problem that Dreamers have right now? They are on a limbo.
Well, let me tell you, I served in Congress for 12
Get
years.
the fuck back.
Longer.
Go, beat it.
But you know, something I've done different than everybody on this stage is I've actually secured reform in Congress. You know, Ron, you talk a really good game about cutting spending, but you've increased spending in Florida by 30%. When I was a member of Congress in 2006, right after Hurricane Katrina, Dana, you remember it, we stood our ground. I led House Conservatives. We cut $100 billion out of the federal budget. It can be done, but as I said in the last debate, I'll say again, this is no time for on-the-job training. I'm going to be ready on day one to get Congress to step up, secure the southern border of the United States, build a military fitted to our times, and we're going to get spending in Washington, D.C. under control once and for all.
On the other side of this break, and I propose to go to a break. How will these candidates make America safer as rising crime plagues our cities? Debate night.
Oh my God! Yeah, Jesus Christ! I'm dying up here. I literally am. Okay, I'm fucking dizzy and feeling like dog shit. But yeah, I wanted to get to Chris Christie's, stupid fucking slam, because here's old fucking fat tits deciding that, oh, you really got one. Oh, I called him Donald Duck because he doesn't want to go and do any of the debates. It's like, you guys really, okay, the way that you performed in that debate and the previous debate as well, and we'll see what ends up happening tomorrow. We might end up running back the rest of that debate tomorrow. That could be fun, but we'll see if time permits and all that shit. But anyways, yeah, Christie decides to tweet out some AI art, which, okay, cool. It's Donald Trump is Donald Duck. Guys, it's really funny, but not nearly as funny as the fact that, everybody's making the obvious comparison that you're Peter Griffin or that you're just a fucking fat human being. Like, if you're saying that Trump has absolutely, he doesn't have any control, he doesn't know how to run an office or anything like that, I ran a successful government. He left with a record low approval rating as governor of New Jersey. He betrayed everybody. Like, he was toxic politically, and this fat bastard decides that he's going to come in here and he's going to start throwing his fucking weight around, his immense weight around. Like, bro, you shouldn't have such an obvious vector of attack, okay? If you're going to be the one who's going to try to be, you know, I'm going to be the Pearl. I'm not the Pearl. I just seen Pearl over there in the corner for whatever reason. All of her shit's been hilarious lately, and I think that that's also in reference to Pearl Harbor because Jamaal Bowman and all that shit. But no, Chris Christie, you sucked as governor of New Jersey. Like, is everybody fucking forgetting this shit? And this is also why I think that Gavin Newsom is so dangerous when it comes to running in 2024. If he does get on the ticket, then it's because everybody politically, at least the way that the media and the candidates want to put it forward to you, that you have the memory of a goldfish. That a gnat would be jealous of your short-term memory loss because they just want you to remember what's happening right now. If there's somebody else that they can attack, he's a bad person. I'm a great individual. So, and given the fact that Gavin Newsom is probably the best communicator, he might actually be even better than Barack Obama. Because I think off the cuff, Gavin Newsom's a little bit better when it comes to that stuff, as opposed to Barack Obama, who could read the fuck out of a teleprompter. Could he come up with anything off the top of his head? Oh, fuck no, man. But Gavin, man, he's as Machiavellian as it comes. And he's got the look, he's got the style, he's got the swag, and that's why I really, really want to look and just kind of more or less watch in horror as he decimates Ron DeSantis' political career. And man, it's going to be a tough road going forward. But yeah, man, let's just look a couple more. I don't know what they're doing right there, but yeah, there he is as a Macy's Day balloon. So yeah, if you're going to go ahead and start tweeting out memes like that, bro, you better make sure that you fucking come correct, you fat sack of shit. But no, man, appreciate you guys hopping in for this very impromptu stream. I'm just closing out some shit here anyways. I'll only use some of it. Ron DeSantis got called out by Bill Maher on Bill Maher's show, by the way, and it was kind of hilarious. So what do we got in here anyway? So yeah, no, I'm just moving some shit over. So no, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate you guys turning out for this one in the middle of the night. And yeah, hopefully in October, now that everything's a little bit better, and yeah, hopefully, I don't know, maybe figure out if it's AIDS or cancer or something like that, and maybe just fucking get it over quick or anything like that. But no, I appreciate everybody for turning out over on Rumble. I actually had a really good turnout on Rumble there towards the end. That was kind of ridiculous. I think I seen a top 30 for something that had absolutely no promotion. I think I put out a little community post like 10 seconds before I went live. And for everybody over here on YouTube as well, Mason, I haven't seen you in here before. Glad to see you. And Non Sequitur, being hilarious, always in here, man. Shout out to you guys. And yeah, everybody else that was in here earlier as well. And then, of course, Rookie holding it down with the wrench. There's a reason that you got the wrench, and shout out to you. It's always great to see you in here. So thanks, guys. I'm going to go grab a bite to eat. Oh, Manu just turned up. There's an old friend that's in here as well. So thanks, guys, for turning out for this. Might run back the rest of that debate depending on how I'm feeling and what ends up happening tomorrow with the rest of the content. And I don't know, fucking, oh, excuse me, YouTube has I'm just rambling at this point in time. I'm gonna fucking cut it there. Thomas Garrison, yeah, thanks for popping by. Yeah, and if we do this tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow, and if not, we'll get something on a schedule here. Maybe start doing more Saturdays. Yeah, I got some ideas that I'm cooking on. So thanks, guys. Thanks again. And with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.